The clock strikes 12, I step into the haze. Whispers call me from 1,000 graves. Shadows dance in corners out of sight. I chase the unknown deep into the night. I hunt the fear you dare not face. In the darkness I embrace the trace. The dead, they speak their secrets shown. Welcome to the bizarre and the unknown. The flicker, a chill, a shadowed hand. The unseen lingers where I stand. Through creaking doors and empty halls, I hear the echoes of forgotten calls. I hunt the fear you dare not face. In the darkness I embrace the trace. The dead, they speak their secrets shown. Welcome to the bizarre and the unknown. And the eyes that watch from a place unreal, a touch so cold it makes you feel they're near but hidden, veiled in shade. I walk with ghosts, I'm unafraid. I hunt the fear you dare not face. In the darkness I embrace the trace. The dead, they speak their secrets shown. Welcome to the bizarre and the unknown.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Bizarre and the Unknown. So far, my guests are still having some technical difficulties. I haven't heard back from them if they got it fixed, so we're just going to kind of shoot from the hip, see what we can do. Push comes to shove, we'll reschedule them in a couple weeks if they can't make it on. That's no big deal. I can always change the name of the show later on. But with that being said, a couple other announcements. To my Patreon INR readers. Yeah, it does, Rock. I don't know what's going on. Their tech guys having a lot of issues. So I mean, no worries. It happens. You know, it is what it is. Chapters 1 through 6 of Reign of the Draugr, Dawn of Armageddon is available on Patreon. I just uploaded that a little bit ago. Yeah, go ahead, Roxanne. Thank you. That has uploaded now, so that's on there. I was able to get chapter 6 done today. Started on it yesterday, finished it today. So, with that being said, I guess let's shoot from the hip and see what everybody wants to. What kind of topic we want to talk about tonight, and we can always go to what the original topic is if they're able to get their equipment working and come on. Yep, it's working sweet. Yeah, I went ahead and transferred it all over to that one there just to make it easier. I know he said that it needed a dot in his Instagram, and I thought it was in there. It was in there, so I was kind of happy about that. I was like, oh, but no, it's all good. Hey Wayne, how's it going? Um, you're lucky, man. Hey Rhonda, yeah, I've had nothing but issues of mine, and so many other people have too. So I don't know what's going on. I mean, it's cloudy now. It's rained on me like 6 different times today. Nothing heavy. Right now, I'm running off my Wi-Fi pack because my satellite internet just ain't working good enough, and I don't want to get dropped. So it seems right now my Wi-Fi pack's running better than my satellite, so I'm just running off of it right now. But we can choose a number of different topics to talk from. We can talk about the book I'm working on. We can talk about something else. If you want to continue with the ghost hunt deal, we can even do that. So I'll leave it up to you guys. You guys let me know. What do we want to talk about today, or just ask some questions and I'll answer them. You just got fiber op. I've never heard. Oh, fiber op. Yeah, they've stopped running. They're about 2 miles from my house, and then once a certain individual had gotten at office a couple of years back, uh, all of a sudden that operation stopped, and they did not run fiber out here. So I don't have that luxury. I was getting excited because they were getting close to the house, and then all of a sudden it just mysteriously stopped. I every great once in a while I might find a fiber crew out there working, but not like they were. I mean, it's just once hey Bigfoot dwarf salute, not like it used to be. So, um, but yeah, so with the technical difficulties my guests are having, we'll just kind of shoot from the hip and go where we want to go. I have been working on the truth behind the nursery rhymes, and I mean, I've got some of them worked out. I've just not got them all down yet. I don't think I have enough for a full show, but if you want to go over what I've got, we can also do that. So you guys just let me know what you want to talk about today. Wayne's got a question here. Okay. Are ghosts do want to cross over to heaven? Some of them do. Yes, Wayne. Some of them do. Um, in fact, if you watch the video I have up of the Indian Point paranormal experience, that answers that question in there. Little teaser. It answers that question in that one there. And that was promised by the person for the who got the money. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I'm one of I don't know how many that got screwed out of that. So many people got it. I'm too far out. I didn't get it. Um, yeah, that was put in place before this individual got office, and when he got into office, yeah, well, it got stopped. Um, but yeah, so yes, and they do. Some of them do, some of them don't. Um, the very common thing I've run into on paranormal investigations is um, they there's always usually at least one that seems to be more powerful than the other and holds the others back, which creates a buffer between me and the communication. And if I can get him pushed back, then communication flows. So you've always got at least one. Hey, nine, stopa. You've always got at least one of them that's trying to keep them from communicating and trying to get you to leave. And that's I always tell you, I do not procrastinate them. I don't or agitate them. I don't push them. I don't do all that stuff. I'm very very against aggressive investigations, but I do stand my ground. So when you get those ones, and it's going to be more than one, I stand my ground. And they're telling me to get out. It's like, no, I got permission to be here. Um, no, no, Roxanne, I don't. I've not been on social media a whole lot. I've been busy with other stuff and doing other things. I'm not on social media as much as people think. I'm just not a huge social media person. I use it from time to time and I get on it from time to time, but I don't. I'm on it once or twice a day. Yeah, I'm not on it a whole lot unless I'm getting talking with someone or something like that. I'm not. I don't like phones. I really don't like phones. So talking on the phone is really hard for me to do because I don't like it, and I absolutely do not like texting. Texting aggravates the holy living crap out of me. I can't sit there like most people and just text and text and text and text and text. Hold on 1 second. He just messaged me. Okay, yeah, they still didn't get their technical stuff going. No big deal. It happens. That's the nature of the beast, unfortunately. I mean, Lord knows I deal with my own technical difficulties too, and I'm a one man operation. So it's no big deal. So yeah, we won't have the special guest. So I'll change the description and everything of this later on tonight. Um, Indian Point paranormal experience. But yeah, it's that one. It's on my YouTube. I need to upload it onto the website as well. I meant to do that today, but I got caught up working on chapter 6, and I just forgot to do it. Plus, I had to take my daughter to work, pick her up, had a show with William this morning, and sitting here trying to fix things on here that I was having issues with. So I've not had the chance to upload it on to the web page yet, but it is available on YouTube now. All my investigation videos will be on YouTube before they go to the web page. That is just one of the perks of being a YouTube subscriber is you'll get the first look at the videos, but after a week or two, or when I first get a chance, then I will have them available on the web page as well. Plus, July, two Bigfoots were sighted in a lake like river in the field. No kidding. Big fingers, yeah. Yeah, so there's been a lot of sightings talking. There's more people coming out and talking about seeing these Bigfoot, which is great. More people are talking about paranormal as well, so it's kind of nice to see that. Um, it is a great thing. And um, the more people that come out and talk about it, that's the more that we can learn. So I always encourage people to talk about their encounters. But I know how it is to be shot down. She misspelled some stuff, Dawn. But yeah, no, it's a good time. You know, let's see here. There she is. She got her fixed. Okay. Plus, there was a sighting at a lake with two Bigfoots fishing, looking in the water this past July at Fellows Lake. Yeah, I used to. My previous position at work, that was one of the sectors of my responsibility. That was in my territory. And I can tell you some strange stuff happens at Fellows Lake. Yeah. Every time I've been around there, I've always felt like I've had eyes on me. Hey, Monisha, how's it going? Um, so, yeah, I could see that. I could see that. I think there's even been dogman reports around Fellows Lake too. I can't remember. I'll have to See if I can find that again. Excuse me. But yeah, I believe there's even been dog. I know there's been dogman sightings in Springfield just as much as there's been Bigfoot ones, or not as much as Bigfoot, but just like Bigfoot. We know someone who is going to try and get him on his show. Huh? I must have missed something. But so yeah, but yeah, Wayne, a lot of that stuff does happen. So on paranormal investigations, you're going to run into a variety of different attitudes, a variety of different wants, a variety of different curiosities, and a variety of different age groups and sexes. So that is going to be extremely common on there. I've heard everything from baby cries to an old man that wanted to say goodbye to his wife because he didn't get the chance to say goodbye to her. And I've had some really sweet ones. I've had some that, when I did that paranormal investigation at the Shade Beaver, I had that one girl that was trying to come home with me. Um, so I mean, you run into that stuff too. Um, then you got some are just they're violent. Some are just angry. You're going to get a lot that's confused. So one of the leading theories on that is um, the more recent it has since you've passed away, the more confused you are, and through time they gain memories back. So I don't know how true that is. That is a theory, and it does kind of make sense to a point. Hey, Kevin, it does make sense to a point that sometimes I get. I'm sorry, guys. I get asked quite often on these EVPs, am I dead? I have to say, yes, I'm sorry. And then I try to, I was like, hey, do you remember what happened? And I try to get them to think. And sometimes it works. They remember fragments when I make them think about it. Um, they'll get fragments back, and I'll get that reply. Sometimes they don't know, and they'll tell you, I don't know. And I've had that happen multiple times too. Um, so you're going to run into that type of stuff. Now, you're going to get touched, you're going to get scratched, you're going to get pushed, you're going to get hair pulled, you're going to get clothing pulled, you're going to have stuff happen to you. If you got to be one, they're going to do some stuff to you. So I mean, that's something you're going to have to consider as well. You're going to have to be able to grunt that and push your way through it and keep going. Um, a lot of times I get like a little touch on my arm, back my neck, down my cheek. I've had them play with my goatee. I've had them play with my hair. I've had them mess with my hat. Um, I've had a slap on the butt. Um, it sounds like a good time. They do. It's funny. It is. Hey, Roger. It is funny all the crap that happens to you on a paranormal investigation. It's. I actually had a slight handprint on one of my buttocks after getting slapped by one. Yeah, that was an interesting one for me. Now I have known, and this is a theory I really highly subscribe to because I've had been on enough investigations that this is proven to be fact for me. Um, in thunderstorms, activity is high. And now the theory behind that is because the air is electrified from the storm, so they're able to draw more energy, which makes them more active. I can't tell you 100% that that is true, but I can tell you from my experiences that has been the case. So that's why I'm a really big subscriber to that theory because it's been that way for me. That's what I've experienced. And I tell you guys all the time, I'm going to tell you what I experienced or what I've found, um, and that's just how it is. And it's interesting. You get running water under a building. Whoo, man, that activity is high. Running water next to one, it's high too. But you get running water. Hey, Larry, you get running water under a building. Yes, that building has now just became a big ass paranormal battery. Especially if that building's made from granite or limestone. I mean, I have been to places like when I did that paranormal investigation at the Springfield Commercial Club. Across the street, a gentleman had bought a restaurant there, was doing remodeling, and his building is created out of granite and limestone. And right underneath his building, he took me down the basement, opened up the trap door, and showed me it. He had running water, and I tell you, I felt a heavy, heavy, heavy paranormal experience before I even got 20 feet from the door. Um, so that stuff is, man, his restaurant literally turned into a big old battery. So that's something to keep in mind as well on that type of stuff. This morning, who was it? Somebody brought up dowsing rods, also known as witching rods. I've seen people use that in paranormal investigations, and it's worked great. I personally have never used it, but I've known people who did and have been around them when they did it, and it's worked. The downside is, am I actually running into something paranormal, or am I running into water? Because you'll get some false hits, because especially if you got water under that building, you'll get false hits. So that is the downside to dowsing rods, but outside of that, they are effective. So, has anybody else got some questions on that? I'm trying to think what I may be missing that you guys are curious about on that. But it's good to see everybody in here today. Um, Roxanne, you getting rain at your place? I've been, like I said, I've had it like 6 different times a day. Meant to go out and get that fuel pump replaced on my lawnmower that accidentally broke that nipple off of. But yeah, I got sidetracked and then the rain, so I didn't do it. This afternoon, I was in the shower and my phone came on by itself. No kidding. Oh, you sure something just didn't bump it, or it just boom? So portals. That's interesting. I can't 100% say yes, I've ran into portals, and I don't want to enter a portal at all. I don't have the correct key with the frequency to a portal. So therefore, I definitely do not want to enter a portal. Now, have I caught things on my game cam that look very portal like? Yes, I have twice. I've caught that, and I've caught some weird stuff on there too that I don't know what it is. Honestly, to me, it looks like something running in front of my camera at a really fast speed. Whatever it is very large, very dark. And the reason why I say that's because the lines that go vertical, or excuse me, go horizontal. Now, could that have been a portal? Possibly. But I've gotten pictures twice within a couple of nights from each other of what looks like a portal opening up in front of one of my game cams. But if you read the ancient text on portals, if you don't have the right key that's got the correct frequency that's tied for that portal and you go in it, you get unalived. So I don't want to do that. I've heard a lot of clickbait stuff, but no, not that I know of. There's a lot of clickbait stuff on social medias about that. A lot of clickbait stuff on there. CGI. You can tell CGI by the way it's acting. A lot of the stuff was out before the CGI got bettered, or AI even AI created. But I don't know. I mean, ancient texts will tell you that yes, the gods and certain type of like medicine people that had the key and knew how to do it correctly have done it. But as far as modern times, the ones I've heard that have entered it, sad things happen shortly after. So, but I personally have never seen someone do it. So that instance that I've heard about has all been hearsay. Yeah, I never did. I mean, if you look at it, you can tell it's AI generated and CGI stuff, and that's clickbait. People are suckers for a lot of stuff that they're interested in, and people of not very good reputation or very good conscience that only gives a crap about themselves will fake stuff and put it out there to make people believe it, click on it, and they make a lot of money off of it. That's the sad truth. But that's that way in everything. That's why I'm not a big cryptid and paranormal TV watcher because 99% of that stuff on that TV is fake. The one that I really liked that I can tell was not fake was Ghost Hunters. Hey, honest, how's it going? Yes, they did. Yeah, you are correct. The Egyptians held a copper. Uh, I can't say that word in their hand as a grounding rod when they went through. Yes, and that rod or that talisman that was on top of that rod was in tune to the frequency of that portal. This stuff dates back to first known religion and language, and that was the ancient Sumerians with the Anunnaki. If you do your research on them portals, you'll go that far back, and every single one of them have something in their hand when they're entering that portal, or on a staff when they enter that portal, and hanging around their neck. And that's because that's the key, and that's whether it's referred to as a key, and it's referred to that for a reason. You've got to have that to be able to go through that. If you get the wrong key and you go through the wrong portal, bad stuff happen. If you don't have a key and you try to go through that portal, bad stuff happen. You have to have the correct key that's in tune to the frequency of that portal. So, yeah, that's an interesting thing, man. It really is. Um, I tried to find my those pictures of my portal stuff the other night, and it'll take me a while to find it. I can look through it that I caught on my game cam. Um, I thought I had them in a certain spot, and for some reason they're not where I could have swore I put them. So I've got to figure out where the hell they went. So a key can be like a talisman, could be a necklace, can be a handbag. It's just something that's tuned to that frequency, um, and that allows you to be able to go in and out of that portal unharmed. And that's what the key is, and it's referred in ancient text as a key. Um, See, that's that thermal hit of the Bigfoot watching me. That's not the one I want. Let's see if I can remember what I put it under. This is a strange. I've caught strange fogs, um, strange, weird fog-like things in front of my camera too. Let's see if I can get this to pull up. Something's going on with the clicker in my mouse. So this fog, this is weird. This was a weird fog. Come on, baby, do what I want you to. Thank you. So you see how it's all horizontal lined, right? All this is clear, a little hazy but clear, kind of foggy. It's all focused mainly right in here. Um, correct, Don. Yes, yes, it does. Yeah, it's a shield that protects you. Absolutely, yes. But you can see literally, it looks like something's moving this way. It doesn't. It ain't set up like a fog. You can literally see the lines in this thing that go horizontal. Um, you can see it. See it. You see the lines. It all goes horizontal. It is a weird fog. And what's curious is nowhere else in this picture is it fogged out. It's just, it's like it goes like this. It's like a shape that's moving. Hold All right, sorry guys, my daughter came in and asked me a question. So that's why I kept this one. This was very strange. This was taken on um, May 30th, 2025. It was a test picture off my game cam. All my test pictures always get taken at 12:09. Had a quarter moon. It was 57 degrees out. Um, so could it be fog? Yes. It's just it threw me off with the contour of this thing. Um, and that's what really drew my attention to that one. And this, um, yeah, Corey, Corey said, yeah, it's a basket weaving deal. Yeah, this is some kind of weird creature. The closest thing I've come up so far is possibly a bobcat, but it's awful tall for a bobcat. Um, but and the reason why, if that's the ears, if I'm looking at that right, and that's the ears, which it gets a little distorted, and that's the body. It looks like it's got a stub tail. That's honestly the closest thing I can come up with on that. This one did trigger my game cam, and this was November 27th, 2022. And I don't know. I mean, if it's a bobcat, it's a big ass bobcat. We do have cougars here, but it is not shaped like a cougar. And it's not shaped like a deer. The legs are too thick. Um, the body proportion ain't right. I have no clue what this is. So I just stabbed and said it's a cougar. This is I catch weird stuff on my game cams all the time. Uh, and this is that one I was telling you about that's blurred out, but you can tell it's a figure that looks like it's kind of moving quick. But I mean, the shape of this thing is just it's weird. But it looks like a tall, dark figure. It's either blurring the camera out. Hey, Corey, it's either blurring the camera out or it's moving so fast. I don't know. I don't know. And this didn't set my cam off either. This one was another test picture. Took on May 20th, 60 degrees, half moon, and you can see um, insects flying around right here. This was a half moon. I don't know if that's Fae flying around or insects. Judging by the shape, I would say this is probably insects because it looks like a cylinder tube. But right here is a smaller version of it. This is a smaller version. Yeah, it's an interesting one, Bigfoot dwarf. Absolutely, it's an interesting picture. But I forgot about this one, and you just see a small one here. So I have no clue. I have zero clue what this is, and never set my game cam off. This was taken at a test picture. Um, but I always forget about this small one right here. It can, could be looking at an adult and a child. Yeah, is it blurring my game cam out or blurring himself on my cam? Possibly. Or are they moving quick enough that it just took that type of picture, which is also a very big possibility. I don't know. I have no clue what that is, and I'm not going to sit here and try to tell you I know what it is because I don't. Uh, I'm trying to see if I can get these portal ones that's not got lines in it. And I get weird stuff like this too. Whiskers. I get stuff like that from time to time too. Oh, that was one of them. So yes, okay, found them. I found the ones. Okay, so okay, yeah, I want to go here first. Let's see. Is this the same night? Nope. Nope. Okay, yeah. These all three of these next pictures are within a couple days apart from each other. I finally found them. I found them. I was when I am tracking, I close my eyes and remote view the night before activities feel the movement. No kidding. I've never actually heard anybody doing that. I've always just kind of went with what was going on in the area. That's not a bad idea, though. That's not a bad idea. So this one here is probably an insect. Like you said, once again, you got the rod shape, and that's usually a tall tale sign that it's a insect. You can kind of see something forming right here on the edge of my game cam. These next three pictures are taken in the exact same spot, exact same time of night, just a couple days apart. So you're seeing this one here was August 7th, 2024, 69 degrees outside, quarter moon. Um, 2 days later, I get this one here. Once again, neither of these had set off my game cam. You can see right here, that's my test pick. This was August 12th, 2024, 68 degrees out, three-quarter moon. This is weird. This is just it's weird. Um, I really cannot tell you what this is. I've showed it to a few people. They've all kind of said the same thing and thought it was a portal. Um, I have no earthly idea what this is. Um, oh, thank you, Manisha. Uh, I can't. I mean, I'll lie to you because I honestly I have no clue what this is. It's just something that my game cam picked up, and the shape of it, the color. It's got one, two, three, four, five, six different shades of color to it. Um, yeah, it's weird. It is beyond weird. And then on same thing, didn't set it off. On August 14th, 2024, 69 degrees out, three-quarter moon. You get it back over here trying to form up again. So we have, let's see here, for 7 days, for 7 different days, we've had three different weird captures, and I can't explain what they are. I mean, you can clearly see it really distorting this out on this side here, kind of like what it did on the first day, but the first day was kind of up here. And then you had the second day, which is done this one, and then this one, like I said, was the third time that it came out. And all these were taken off my game cam. I mean, you can see my brand of my game cam right here. Now it got time, date, temperature, the moon. This. So I'm not a big game cam person when it comes to catching cryptids, but that doesn't mean you're not going to catch something on it. I mean, you guys have seen some weird stuff I've caught on it already. Yeah, it is. That is very strange, Corey. Very strange. I've caught possible fairies on this. I've caught orbs on this. Um, I've caught a lot of weird stuff on this thing. See if I'm missing anything. For some reason, the photos are not showing up in my file. So you guys have heard me talk about fays living in trees, right? And you got the dryads. If you're curious if you got a fae living in a tree, you're looking for something like this. You see the eyebrows, you see the nose, you see the lips. If a tree has a humanoid looking feature to it, they say that is where them dryads live. The type of fairy, the fae folk, is in trees that have this kind of setup. This was taken, I can't remember if this one was on my property or if this was during a Bigfoot investigation in another location. I can't remember off the top of my head on this one, um, which looks a lot like, I think this one was during the Byways of Bigfoot documentary that I was in when I saw this one. Um, so that's when we're talking about that, and we're talking about the phase living in trees, and we're saying, look for a face. This is what I mean. And there's different types of faces in these trees. This just happens to have looks like an older man living in this tree. But that's a lot what the Native Americans will tell you. The Celts will tell you. A lot of these people that's talking about this stuff will tell you. Oh, it's a turkey. Have you guys ever heard of a weird kind of like Bigfoot goose howl? I guess is the best way to explain it. I want to try to download this so you guys can hear it. It's it's weird. It's this is the only time I've ever heard of a howl like this. Um, I'll have to get you guys' comments in a minute. I've got to upload this first. Wow, that uploaded quick. Damn, that uploaded quick. Um, no, no, I live out in the woods. I got 40 acres out in the middle of nowhere. I'm literally surrounded by woods. I do have the Niagara River close to me. Um, but yeah, it's I live out in the woods. I mean, it's a small farm. I mean, it's a self-sustaining. You know, I can grow. I can have a couple head of cattle on here to keep me sustained. That's about enough cleared off pastures I got. Do you set game cams up just for in certain areas of your property and areas that you want to put game cams on? So I put game cams up in areas that I know that I have a lot of deer. Got a lot of luck with deer hunting, and sometimes I move them around on purpose. I did move them around on purpose a few times because anytime I set up a game cam outside the triggering range, I'll get an X formation from trees right outside every single time. So I wanted to test that theory. So I've literally have moved game cams around, and sure as I'll get out within that night or the next night, I'll go back out and I'll have an X formation right outside the triggering range of that game cam again. Happens every single time. Um, but yeah, mainly it's areas where I'm keeping a count on my deer population. I'm keeping an eye on how well my deer population's doing. Seeing if I got any sickly looking ones, see what kind of activity is going on, what I've got out there. It's not just solely for hunting purposes. It's I want to make sure that I'm keeping a good enough environment for my deer, well, my wildlife population. Period. And that's what I use my game cams for is to keep track of how the population of the wildlife in my woods are doing. Yeah, they do. Yeah. So the two hottest spots. I mean, they're in different areas, but the two hottest spots is at my rifle stand, which is on the west side of or the east side of my property, and the where a lot of cedar are, mainly here to the south side of my property, is where the heaviest of my traffic is. Now, I get them all over my property, but if you want to find the most evidence, it'd be the east side and the south side of my property. That's where you're going to find the most of the evidence. Um, this is that. The only way I can describe this, folks, is like an odd goose distant howl. It's weird. Here we go. It's real quick. You hear that kind of towards the end. And that was the best that I can clean that up. And when I heard it with the naked ear and caught it, it sounded like a goose. But when I played it off that digital 360, it sounded something different. I cannot explain what the heck it is. Um, I do have game cams on the east side of my property and the west side of my property, and on the north side of my property. My south side, I don't have any up. Um, the simple fact is I've got a neighbor that's got a field out there that sometimes you can catch during the fallen leaves time frame. So no, I don't have it on the south side. They're on the east, west, and north. Hey, Vicky. Yeah, were goose. It's weird. It was. I thought that was the one that wasn't edited. So I don't know what happened to the one that's not edited. I really don't know what happened to it. I thought that was it, and that wasn't. That was the one me trying to clean it up where you can hear it better. So that was kind of a bust. I'm gonna go ahead and delete that one. So I don't know what happened to the original on that. That's what I seriously thought it was. So I was like, oh well, never mind. That was the wrong file. Yeah, yeah. Um, let me see here. Let me hop in my cryptid file here. You tonight. I'm all alone. So I get a lot of weird tree formations on my property. Yeah, they didn't. That was the wrong one. Some people, it's hard to hear. It is hard to hear. Yeah, where goose could be pretty freaking. Sounds like a dolphin. Yeah, me trying to clean it up, it sounded like a dolphin. I wish that was the original file. I've got to figure out where that original file went to. That was kind of disappointing because I thought that was the original file and it wasn't. So I was like, damn it. So this you can see where they stripped the cedar off of this. Now, 9 times out of 10, I would dismiss this because a deer or porcupine would do this. Yeah, I don't either. I'm telling you, with the naked ear, it literally, I was like, that was a weird ass goose, and why the hell is it howling? That's literally how it sounded like with with the naked ear. And I was like, I've never heard a goose howl. I was like, what the hell? Um, but what caught my interest was this has been stuck in the ground. So you can see all the way up this cedar tree, it's been shaved clean. I mean, it perfectly shaved clean. And this is all the way up this cedar tree. Like I said, 9 times out of 10, I would pass this by thinking it's a buck or a porcupine. But right here, you can see it was stuck in the ground. Um, that's what drew my attention to this one here. A buck or a porcupine is not going to stick a tree in the ground. This is a cedar tree. Cedar's got a lot of medicinal purposes. But you can tell this is fresh. This was freshly skinned. This just had the bark, I'd say, taken off with the den either that night or maybe 2 days at the most. I mean, 2 days is kind of pushing it to keep that nice clean color. Um, it does. Cedar absolutely has medical property. Is it a marker? Corey, I don't know. I can't tell you. I have no clue. This is the first time I've ever seen this on my property or ever. Um, yeah, no kidding. Yeah, Bucky the Beaver probably got it. I don't know, man. Um, I missed a comment here. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Okay, never mind. Okay, we're good. Yeah, yeah. I don't know, but it is the type of weird stuff that I get on my property. Um, sorry, I thought I had this one enlarged. Nope, but you can tell it's only like a couple days old. Um, but I mean, it's right. So it's the correct way of being up and down. You can tell by the shape of the small limbs on this. It's just like somebody pulled it up, took the root bulb off, skinned it, stuck it back in the ground. Honestly, that's what it looks like. So this is the true way the tree is supposed to go, straight up and down. But it's not grown in the ground. It's stuck in the ground. you know? I thought that was an interesting one. Once again, oh, this is the other part of it. Yeah, this is the upper part of it. You can tell where they literally have been peeling that off and just eating it or doing whatever they're doing with it. And you can see that's all wrapped around here. I mean, they literally was peeling this thing. I mean, and this thing goes up, up above this. I think it stops somewhere around 15 foot up in the air. It's just weird. It's just a weird thing to find out in the middle of my woods. Here's another one. You can see this one's older. This one's a lot older. Um, was that round rough rut season. So it was close to rut, not rut. Um, but a buck is not going to rub bark 15 foot up off of a tree, 15 foot up in the air. That's what drew my attention to it. That's what I was kind of talking about earlier, Vicky. Normally, I would pass that up thinking it was a deer or hey Val, a deer or like a porcupine. Um, but when this goes 15 foot up in the air, that's not a deer and that's not a porcupine. Um, Eric, every day you must be wondering what you find on your camera. Dude, I find stuff all the time. Yeah, no, I'm not. It's not a buck rub, Vicky. It's. I'll show you. I got buck rubs on here. That's not a buck rub. Um, when I think about it here in a little bit, don't let me forget. I will try to find the buck rub ones. I don't remember where they're at, but I do have buck rubs I can show you. In fact, one of these pictures. If it's I don't know if it's in this folder or not. One of these pictures, you're going to see a tree like this, but you're going to see a buck rub behind it, and you'll see the difference. Nope, and I don't have moose, so it's not a moose either. No, absolutely. But this is another one. This is older. This one was done way before that last one. Same instance, stuck in the ground. I don't know why they took the root bulb off, stripped it clean. This one here goes up roughly 9 foot in the air, being cleaned off. So once again, a porcupine ain't going to take the root bulb off, stick it back in the ground, and a porcupine, a deer is not going to have it 9 foot up in the air. Okay, no worries. Yeah. Well, some people don't, so I may show them just for people who don't know what buck rubs look like. I'm still going to show them. But yeah, and that way, because that's actually you brought up a very good point because for those who don't know what a buck rub looks like, I'll show you the difference between this and that. You actually brought up a very good subject there, and I appreciate it a lot, Vicky, because I didn't even think about showing the difference between them. This is just one of those weird X formations. This one is right outside the triggering range of my game cam. Uh, Something kind of just pushed these over and stuck them like that. You can see here where it was kind of stuck in the ground. Um, some, oops, crap, where'd it go? I lost it. Okay, I lost that. Where the hell did all them comments go? Anyways, the one. Yep, there you go, Corey. There it is. Found it. It finally popped back up. Why the hell did it disappear like that? Was weird. Now you're not coming. There you go. Something is eating the bark off your trees. Yeah. Oh yeah. And they're cedar, and cedar's got a lot of medical properties to them. But you can see how this one was stuck in the ground, and this is part of that X formation I was just showing you. And then you got some other stuff that's leaned up against it. That could be tree fall, is what I originally thought. I originally thought this was just deadfall. In a couple pictures later, you're going to find out why I changed my mind. It is, buddy. Because what we're going to find here, if I get to that picture, you're going to see why I changed my mind. But when I first saw that, I gaffed all this off because I thought it was just deadfall. That's a picture of that one tree again. That could be buck or that could be deer because it only goes up about 6 feet. This is another one. Um, nope, actually, that was the same one. Sorry. Yes. Now, this one here is an old one. And normally I'll get, okay, this is a buck. But when this goes up 10, 11 feet up in the air of cedar bark stripped off, um, yeah, it's not a buck. It's not a deer. It's not a porcupine. And you see it starts roughly about 3 foot off the ground, and it literally goes up to, I think this was around somewhere around 10 or 11 foot up in the air. This is what some of them look like after they get done shredding them. Which this one here originally I thought well, might have been. Yeah, I sent them to you once, Corey. If you don't got them anymore, let me know. I'll try to remember to email them again to you. Hey, Jessica. Yeah, they're still young trees. Absolutely. Um, Now, normally I would say this is probably from a buck, but what caught my interest on it, this was off that one that goes up, you know, up around 10, 11 feet up in the air. See how shredded that is? It's like they're pulling the fibers apart when they're pulling it off a tree. Um, and you can see it's done up top the same way. This is that tree. Both of these pictures, that one tree I just showed a minute ago. It's shredded all the way up there. And this, like I said, this is up 10, 11 foot up in the tree. So that's not a deer. Another one, this was roughly about 9 foot up. And right under these were prints. That was the other thing that drew my interest to these trees was the fact that I've got footprints right around that tree. This one here was roughly 9 inches long and 3 inches, no, 4 inches wide. So this one was probably a female or a juvenile, I would say. Um, but yeah, that's you can kind of see where the comes in, curves in, comes back out. And you can see the other part of the heel. That's what it should have been in your email, Corey. But let me know. You would have to have fingers to be able to shred and peel it like that. Yeah, exactly. I mean, like I said, you can see where they were splitting the fibers on it. Now, buck rub will look like that. I have seen buck rubs look like that, not to that degree though. That is a really that was separated way more than a buck rub. This one kind of caught my interest because 3 days when I was out there 3 days prior, that was not broke off. But that's not the only thing. I found that footprint right there, right where that break was. So that's what drew my interest to that break. The fact that 3 days prior was not broke off, and then I go out there, it's broke off, and right there, that was a 11-inch long by 5-inch wide footprint on that one. No, it's not. It's not. Here's kind of a bigger one. This one was about 17 inches long and roughly 7 inches across. This dude has a. This has got to be a big old male, big old buck guy, because that's a big footprint. Most of my footprints are going to look like that because you can tell by what I got on my ground around there. Yeah, well, I mean, if it was a cat, Don, you'd think you'd see claw marks in the tree because generally, when like a cougar does it or a bobcat does it, they leave claw marks. There's no claw marks in them. Um, but yeah, that's a big boy. Yeah, I can. I'll resend them to you, Corey. But that's a big boy. That's the daddy. This here's just got multiple. This is all in that cedar patch to the south of me. All these pictures I've been showing here, the last 4 or 5 has been in the south side of me. But you're literally seeing trails where these things are walking around. Right here, there. Um, God dang, my phone will not shut up. You can see how much this is a bigger cedar tree that they stripped up. Like I said, no claw marks. They literally have just took the cedar right off of it. Here's a big long strip they took out. This is about 7 foot up in the air, about 6 foot. I'm sorry, but these strips way over my head. I mean, this is about 20 foot up, and you still see this. They're stripping this even 20 foot up in the air. You see stripped right there, even. So that's definitely not. This is just a quicker look or closer look of how it's all shredded up when they pull them off that cedar tree. Um, looks like a big fingernail doing that. If you see it right there, right there. I don't know if it makes it see it any better. It looks like a big fingernail just was digging at it. Right here too. You know, just like a big fingernail digging at it. Right there. You know, so that took a cat out for me as well because too big to be a cat. This is another one that was stuck in the ground. This is an oak, so I don't know why they stripped this one. This is a stripped oak and stuck in the ground. And this is all part of a formation. Yes. Okay. Yeah. This is all part of that blind. So you see how they kind of stuck in the ground, bent it over. You're starting to see the formations here. It's weaving. That's a hunting blind. That was literally right behind my house on the west side of my house. Literally, this we found this during the documentary I was in, Byways of Bigfoot. I found it. I I was a part of it, but before we came out and filmed, I'd found this a week prior, and so it's hard to see, but right from here. But there's a game trail right over in here. Okay, this is the opening where you can walk in and kind of hide. Um, Come on, buddy. Nope, crap. And then you can see that this thing was heavily used. That was leading up to this opening here I was telling you about here on this side. And you see the briar bushes are pushed down here. But there's that opening. It's facing my house. Like I said, there's actual game trail right over here. Going up to that opening, look how much this was used. Folks, this was only 30 yards on the other side of my house, right inside the tree line. I mean, it's heavily used. So they were doing a lot of hunting right behind my house. Oh, and you look how big that print is there. That's a big boy right there. There's his big toe. That's a big boy right there. Um, yeah, that's outside my house. Going up to that blind. Um, Here's another one here. You can see one footprint here, one here, like it kind of stopped and looked. And that's because I guarantee you it was probably because one of us came out of the house or one of my animals did, and it stopped. Stopped behind this tree to kind of semi hide itself. Um, the only reason I can't say yes or no, I talk about it more than my neighbors do. Um, but I know my neighbors have a lot of paranormal activity too. In fact, that's at one of the investigation I'm working on right now, gathering evidence on, is a 80-year old neighbor of mine who's never had a paranormal experience in his life and has now had it. And I'm going through that evidence right now. But on the other side of this tree is my house. About 40 yards from my house is this tree here, and you can see where that guy stopped right there. Another one that was broken off. Now that I can't 100% say that's Bigfoot. I lean more towards Bigfoot, and I'll show you a couple of reasons why. This is the reason why I was leaning towards Bigfoot. This is a closer up of that break. You can still see it's kind of cleaned right there. I mean, it's an older tree, but the break on this side of it was fairly clean. Oh well, I guess I didn't show you the reason. There was no big limbs or anything that fell on it that would tell me it was storm break. Um, oh yes, they are. Yes, they are, Roxanne. This one's really cool. They literally have taken this, and you see the root system here. Taken this, bent it over like this, and stuck it in the ground. I think I got a better picture than that. Let me. That was the footprints that was around it, around that bend. You can see how big it is compared to mine. I mean, this thing is a monster. He's a big boy. Looks very similar to that one earlier, so I'd say it was probably that same one. I could have swore I had other pictures where that thing was stuck in the ground. Where's my pictures going? This was another interesting one. That one is still rooted in the ground. That one is not. And it's laying under. The one that's not rooted is laying under the one that's rooted. So I found that interesting because I was like, okay, that's good chance that's not storm. And I've got these both were pushed over. This one's leaned into this tree. This one's leaning up against this limb. Could be storm. It's just kind of weird. This is an old one that's been pushed. This was that one that was broke. This was the one I was showing earlier. So it's got my stuff. No, it ain't. Nope, this is a different one. I lied. This is a different one. Man, they just kind of like jacked this thing up. As you can see, there's no big limbs here that fell on this. No big limbs. That's the closer up, or you can still see it's in the ground. It's just stuck in the ground. That was this one here. So that's stuck in the ground. That's a weird print I had underneath one of my game cams. The only reason why I took it is because it looks like a thumb knuckle there. I can't say that it ain't dog and deer mixed. It's possible. That was my first thought. That knuckle's what threw me off. It was that knuckle print. Or the thumb print. Or the thumb indentation. So that's all on that file. No, those were taken in December of 2022. These are December 2023. You can see the depth of that one. Buddy, I am on a show. You're going to have to hold it in. You can see the depth of that print, how deep down in the ground it goes. That was a good push down. The reason why this turned out so nice is you can tell it's wet. This is just kind of a version from up top. A little bit better version from up top. You can see it's only about, I wear a size 9, so this thing's roughly 11 inches long. No, more than that. I'm sorry. You're roughly about 4, so that's about 13 inches. These are things that's been left on my porch. A couple times I've had skulls left on my porch. Both times with skulls. I was out in the woods. Me and the dogs were out in the woods. Came back in to get more batteries. Come out, and this is laying in front of my door. The closest thing we can get to what this is close to being a bulldog. It's not exactly a bulldog, but it's close, and it's small. Um, Twice we found skulls like this. The only people who had bulldogs around here where I'm at was my dad and one other gentleman, and they were bigger and older than what this skull here is. You can see it's a small skull. That was literally, you can see my front door right here. Right where my mouse is where that was left. Me and the dogs literally went inside. I grabbed some more batteries, came out, and that thing was laying right there. In 2 minute time frame that it took me to go in the house, find some batteries, and get them is how long it took for that thing to be dropped off my front door. Oh, that's Freya. No, that wasn't Freya. That was that was Odin. Sadly, Odin's with me no more. That's just another picture of that one tree. For some reason, it's in the wrong file. This was about 20 foot up. This was stripping about 20 foot up. It did. Yeah, those teeth threw us off big time. Um, the closest thing, like I said, it's not 100% identification. The closest thing we could find is a bulldog. That was the other pictures I was looking for. That tree, for some reason, it's in the wrong file. See where that got jacked up there? And that could be woodpecker. That's not the one I was. This, they literally wrapped this thing around this tree. You can see it swivel. It was literally torn off and wrapped around. You can see where they tore bark off. But these things were literally wrapped around this tree, almost like a little kid having fun. Because that's exactly what screamed out to me was, I think this is a kid having fun, learning. You know what I mean? And I could be completely wrong, but that's how I took this. Was like it was a little kid playing. And you kind of see where something made a circle around this tree. I'm trying to. Where is that one at? Oh, so you remember me talking about that rib cage that was left out my back window 5 minutes after I've been out there and gathering wood. This is that rib cage. I literally just went inside after bringing wood up to. You can see my footprints coming up to the window to drop wood off in the house. My daughter goes out 5 minutes later. That's sitting right outside that window, and there's that vertebrae. So I've talked. You guys heard me talk about that rib cage. That's it right there. That was the year that I was hurt and I couldn't get out in the woods to do any hunting, and I find that right outside my window 5 minutes after I'd been there. This is the other dog skull that was found. Once again, some jacked up teeth. Same deal, a lot narrower than the first one, um, but very similar to the first one. My daughter had found it. I came back in from the woods. My daughter went to go out about 15 or 20 minutes after I did. Bam, that thing's sitting there right on my front porch. My daughter found it right out my door, my front porch. That's the second skull. That's a good print. Look at that big boy. You can see where his toes drug against that rotted limb and tore it up and kicked it. So he took a step, You can see where his toes landed here at first, right at the edge of that limb. And then when he picked up to move his foot, his toes caught that limb, shredded it, and kicked it out. That's just more stripped ones. Oh, my poor boy, I missed that. I missed that dog. I came out one day, no wind. So the day prior I came out, this is my rifle stand. The day prior I came out and I shot a couple deer. Came out the next day, no wind, no storms, nothing that night. All of a sudden my tree stand was like that. And this was, if I could find the picture, I've actually got a game cam picture of fingers that moved my game cam the same night that this had happened. Just more of them stacked up. Not why, buddy, buddy. I am on a live right now. Come on, you're gonna jack my stuff up. Come on now, be careful. I know, buddy. Yes, yes, yes. I know, I know, I know. I think that's the same. Buddy, no, come on, dude. You're jacking my stuff up. Nine, stopa, stopa. Behave. I don't know why I've got two of that photo. This was a break we found along. This was during the Byways of Bigfoot documentary I was in. This was a break we found along a cliff wall. Nine, stopa. Um, and what we was kind of following the trail, um, different angle from it. No, you're not listening. This was a couple months. This was back in April. Actually, let me find the first one first. Let's start from the beginning on that one. No, that's the beginning. Okay. The dogs and I was heading down looking for mushrooms, and I came across this in that creek bed by my rifle stand. You can clearly see it's been broken and gotten into, and meat was stripped off the bone. You can still see the red. That was fairly recent. You see where that was broken, gotten into. Come on, dude, that's weird. Its hoof was gnawed on. That's another picture of it on the other side. You can still see the red. It's still pretty white. See the fur being stripped off of it. See the bones cracked here. Broken. That was outside my tree stand. And then there's a closer look at the break. You see the tendons are tore. It almost looks like something had burned it. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. The blackberry bushes. Yeah. And then later on that day, we go inside. I come back out to leave. About 20 minutes later, and I find this right out the door of my truck. And the dogs were inside with me. Dogs were inside with me, and I find this 20 minutes later. After going inside from finding that first one, hey, Firewater, and I find this right outside my truck. You can see my truck right here. It's front of my truck. Yeah, let me get back to that one, Roxanne. That was stuff I found during the byways of Bigfoot. Um, Let me see what file that the briar bushes are in, Roxanne. Give me a moment. Oops. You know what? I may not have them on here. I think Ron Bowles took those photos. I may not have those, Roxanne. Sorry. No. That was that footprint going up to my old living room window. Look at the size of that the big one right there. Look at the size of that one. You can even see the toe indentions on that one. And that was at an angle, and we had nothing to keep the cast in to be able. That was going uphill, and we had. It was Roxanne. Yes, it was absolutely. Yeah. By the way, it's on my. It's in my playlist under. I think it's under investigations in my playlist on my YouTube. But we had no way of keeping plaster in this because it was going uphill, so we couldn't cast this one. That's probably one of the better footprints that I found. This thing was 17 inches long. You can see where it's broken stuff off here when it's stepped and everything. You can see that more of the weight was up here at the toes because it was going uphill. Yeah, well, I thought so too, but I'm not finding them. That was a good print right there. Look at the size of that big boy. That was the one buddy of mine found last deer season. I find trails covered in broken branches. They walk on them so as not to leave tracks. That's why tracks are rare. Possibly. I don't. Maybe. Man, I could have swore they were in this one here at one time. Let me see here. Hold on a second here. I bet they're in this one. I bet they're in this one. Okay, hold on. Yeah, that's labeled documentary. I bet they're in this one. Yep, there's us doing it. Okay. Let me figure out which one they're at. Hold on.
I can see a lot of impressions or tree limbs have been picked up and moved. And that's still there.
That's not it. My camera's upside down. Never mind. It's not in that one. Roxanne, I'll have to look for them. I can't find them. I thought they'd be in that one, but they're not. Um, so we was actually checking that blind out that I was showing you earlier, and we looked over, and blackberry bushes had been laid over, going uphill. They weren't going downhill like they'd been washed out. These things literally had been pushed down, laid flat. And these are blackberry bushes, laid flat, going uphill. I'm working on a show for that, Wayne. I've got notes on them. I'm not done doing them. That was planning on being next week's show. But yes, I'm not writing a book. I'm getting a note set up to do a show on.
Sorry about that. That was I can't.
Okay, am I? Nope, that's not it. So, see, okay. Oh man, I forgot about. You remember me talking about that fairy that almost hit me in the face that one night? My dog went barking, and I went to let him out and open up the door. All of a sudden, boof! I get hit in the face. This is what that thing looked like. This. Oh my gosh! I forgot I had this photo. This is what would almost hit me in the face. Now you remember Bigfoot Dwarf was on with me, and I was showing him a picture of that game off the game cam of that fairy that I caught later on that night. The same night that I almost got hit in the face. This looks like that fairy that almost hit me in the face. That right there. Remember, I told you it kind of looked like you want one of them little dandelions. That's it. That is very close to the fairy that almost hit me in the face. I mean, of course, I was reacted quick, so I didn't get a really good look at it. But that's it, folks. That's pretty daggone, if not what I was looking at, almost hit me in the face. Now you see how its wings are, and it's got that tail down here at the bottom, right? And remember, you guys thought, oh, was that a lunar moth? Okay, you see how that tail's fanned out in the bottom. Now you see what I mean? Why I thought that was the fairy that I caught on my game cam. Same tail, same wing setup. No, they're not. No, they're not. No. Yeah, we're gonna do the truth behind nursery rhymes next week, Firewater. Yeah. So now you can see the comparison I was trying to. I'm glad I found that picture. That makes me so happy that I found that picture. I have those up here on my outside camera of my. Yeah, it is, Michelle. It's like wow. I didn't offend it. It was not aggressive at all. It was not aggressive at all. What happened was the dogs were barking. So I was like, they weren't shutting up. I was like, fine, we'll let you. I thought it was the damn possum on the porch or something. So I opened up the door quick, and then I looked up. As soon as I did, boom, that fairy was right in my face. Then it fluttered off. And, of course, right when it comes to my face here, I went like that, done a natural thing where I jerked my head back. And I seen it as looking, and it fluttered off and headed to the north. This camera's to the north. This game cam's on the north end of my property, right where that fay went to flying. I am so glad I found that picture now. I mean, to me, I could be wrong. That looks very similar. Hey, Joanne. No worries. No worries. I mean, I don't know what you guys think, but that's what I'm seeing. and that looks very much, very, 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 very close to what I seen in my face. So I think it was kind of checking out what's going on, and I caught it off guard when I opened that door. I think that's what happened. Not only did it scare the crap out of me, but I scared the crap out of it. Yeah, firewater Faye. Yeah, I think so. I mean, that is. Oh my gosh! I mean, that is so damn close to what I saw. Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I've got elementals and stuff around me all the time. Oh my god, I forgot I had that photo. Oh, here's another picture of one of them. I don't know if that's AI'd or not. That looks different to me. That kind of looks like AI'd. That first one though was very close to what I was looking at. That's bothering me. I don't know where those pictures went to, Roxy, and I apologize. Hmm. But yeah, no, that's the stuff I find out here all the time. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh my god, man. And I wish I remembered that whenever I had Bigfoot Dwarf on here with me last week. So, no, I mean that fairy, it wasn't malicious in no way. I think I scared it just as much as it scared me when I flung that door open. I think it was just kind of checking the hat, and the dogs picked up that it was there. You know, that's my opinion. I could be 100% wrong, um, but I think it is. I really think that is. Hey, William, there's no AI involved in those pictures of the face. I did a show several years ago. Okay, yeah, that first one I showed, that was the one I was talking about, William, that I had in my face, and then that game cam photo I had in the same direction that it went. Yeah, that was it. That was the one that was at my front door that ended up being right in my face. It caught me off guard, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. It caught me off guard. Why did I go back to cryptid? It's not cryptid. I don't want the cryptid. Daggone it. I'm jacking myself up here. Yeah. There it is. Yeah, I couldn't tell if it was four limbs or what, man. Yeah, it was a cool picture. Yeah, it was definitely a cool picture. So, we talk about orbs a lot when on paranormal beings, the cloud. So, this was taken during the Springfield Commercial Club investigation that I was on, and sadly, the system that was supposed to save this um, didn't save it worth a crap, so I lost of it. But this is a video of a lot of the orb activity I was catching, and the reason why I like them. You see that one? Boom.
Save my recordings from
Boom. There's another one.
4 security cameras that I have up. This is some of the footage that I had recorded during my breaks on the investigation. You'll see that these are a bunch of orbs that I was showing. And every now and then you'll catch one trigger the motion sensor on my security camera. So this is interesting. Yes, this could be dust. I'm not counting insects on this one because of the time of year. We really don't have any insect issue. So these are either straight up paranormal orbs or dust. And
that one set my game cam off, or my motion sensor off. So that's the type of orb activity I like, because it's setting off my motion sensors. It was wintertime, so but insects is out of it, and it was moving too fast for dust. The Fae are real and around us. They just choose who to show themselves to. Yeah, that's when I find it. I agree with you 100%, William. That's why I think that was a very much a blessing. I honestly think I scared it just as much as it scared me. I think that was the only negative part about the whole encounter was I didn't realize that it was there, and was just it showed itself to me, and then I captured on my game cam later on. I'd feel honored if a benevolent Fae appeared to me, and I wanted to meet. Oh yeah, I wish I could have had a better encounter than that. Was just I literally was not expecting that, and I wasn't paying attention. I thought the dogs were going nuts because a possum was on the porch. So I got tired of them because they wouldn't shut up. They kept barking and running at the door and wouldn't shut up. So I was like, screw it, fine. You want out there? I'll let you out there. And I flung the door open, and all of a sudden, boop, right in my face. Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did, William. Absolutely, we did. But you see how them orbs were flying on, and that was this camera here that I was showing the other night when Bigfoot Dwarf was on. These are the security cameras I was catching them orbs on. So you see how good that night vision is with them, and then of course they're motion censored. So like that one that flew in front of the camera and set that motion sensor off. That for me even tells okay, there's some legitimacy to that because I know it's not insects. It's wintertime. The insects are hibernating. It's not dust. Dust is not going to send this move like that, and not going to set off a motion sensor. Yeah, it was both him, Bucky, and Boar. All three of them were going nuts at the door. Yeah, that's all EVP stuff. I'm trying to. Anyways, yeah. So I mean, this is the type of stuff you're going to find when you're doing paranormal investigations. So, like I've said before, in the summertime, when you get an orb figure, it's either going to A, it's going to be paranormal, B, it's going to be dust, or C, it's going to be an insect. In the wintertime, it's either going to be paranormal or it's going to be dust. How it moves is what draws my attention to it. Now, in the summertime, setting off a motion sensor, I don't get real excited over that because an insect will set off a motion sensor. But in the winter time is when I get excited when they do that. Yep, you are 100% correct. Sometimes I think we just need to just leave the security cameras to the record and go about our. Yeah, that's what I love to do. But for some reason, that program that I bought and I paid for, that's supposed to keep these recordings, did not keep the recordings. So that one when you seen that one on the upper left of the stairs, that was the stairs I was hearing running up and down a lot of the night. And also heard walking up and down them stairs. And you'll hear me in that investigation going, who's there? I hear you coming up the stairs. And I could literally feel the footsteps in the floor and hear them. It sounded like one of us was literally walking up them stairs. Nothing was there. So I was excited because I was like, dude, I have a security camera right there. So whatever it's going up and down them stairs, 9, go 5. Now come on, you're being a butt. Sorry guys, Boar is being a pain in the ass. I was so excited because I was like, dude, I had to capture that on camera. It didn't save my stuff. Does your research know of other places paranormal? Like Texas has got paranormal activity, a lot of dogman activity. They have Bigfoot activity too. So some of the most haunted places I've been around this world, Hawaii is number one. Hawaii is number one on my list of the most haunted place I've ever been in my life. I've been to Texas. Texas definitely has paranormal activity there. Oh, thank you, Firewater. Yeah, they were eating pizza crust earlier. They were eating pizza crust. But I thank you, man. You're awesome. Thank you so much for that. My little hoo-ha didn't pop down. Um, he does. He does. I've been so busy that he's like, I miss my daddy. Um, but so I'm pissed. So I've got some small SIM cards. It's in the top of or in the bottom of it now. I've got to get my freaking iPad has vanished like a fart in the wind. So I've got to figure out where my iPad is because I got to resync everything up now. That I got these miniature SIM cards in there and test out if I can record that way. Record using those without having a subscription to their deal. So as soon as I can figure out where the hell my iPad went to, I've got to do that. And I needed that the other night for an investigation, and I couldn't find it. Kind of what I'm thinking, even though I was told no, but that is exactly what I'm thinking. Yes. Those are. Yeah, now I've never been to Nolens. I've never been to Nolens. And I've never been to Charleston. But the stuff I've seen there, absolutely. I'll agree with you. They are. Now, there's a lot of supernatural activity in them two places. Let's see, another good place for paranormal. Japan. Japan's got a lot of paranormal and supernatural. Australia is another good one. That's a marine term for when we can't figure out. We either say hoo ha or you hoo. If we can't figure out who we're talking about, it's hey, come here, daggone you hoo. If we can't figure out what we're wanting somebody to grab, go over there and grab that hoo ha. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. And it ends up always being the case, even though the answer is always no. So now when it comes to cryptid activity, United States, I've experienced a lot of cryptid activity in the United States. Where's Nala? Oh, Nolens. You been down to Nolens? Could be mistaken wiring. Hoo-ah. um, but yeah, as far as cryptid activity, man, United States, dude. Everywhere I've been in the United States, I've ran into cryptid activity. I actually experienced Yowie for the very first time when I was in Australia. I didn't know what a Yowie was, and we were in Shellwater Bay training area in Australia. We were training with the Aussies, and there's this old abandoned house out there in the middle of this training range. And I was like, I could feel something from that home. So I was talking to the Aussies. He's like, what's the story on this place? And he goes, oh man, there's a family here. They were massacred by the Aborigines, and nobody's ever picked it back up. So I'm thinking, man, this place is going to be chock full of ghosts. That kind of horrible stuff that happened. Yeah, my buddy Chris Gentry, he's from Nolens. And if you say New Orleans, he gets pissed. He goes, daggone, it's not New Orleans, it's Nolens. It's Nolens, damn it. It's not New Orleans. You damn Yankees. I was like, man, shut your ass up. I love him. He's my brother, though. I love the crap out of him. Hey, Urso. So I go and I put my foot on the first step, and as soon as I did, I heard a coming from inside the house. I went, "What the fuck?" And then I was just like, "Hey, dude, get back, get back." I was like, "What was that?" And he goes, "Dude, that's a yowie. You don't go in there. Yowie's not good." He goes, "Get away from that place. There's a yowie nesting in there." And I was like, "Well, what's a yowie?" He's like, "You Americans call him Bigfoot." I said, "Oh, okay." So that's how I learned what an Australian yowie was. But I literally, as soon as my foot hit that first step when I was getting in there, is I know you keep explaining that to me, but I'm going to. I figured you was. I figured you was. I miss you razzing me. Um, but yeah. But I'm Japan, dude. Yeah. When it comes to supernatural activity, Japan is definitely high on my list of places. It's New Orleans, huh? It's Nolans. I was always told you call it Nolans. And Chris Gentry, he's a good brother of mine. I love him to death. He'll tell you he's a coon ass. And he because I gave him shit all the time. And then our buddy, we had a mutual friend. Oh my God, I'm brain farting. Anyways, he lived in Illinois, so we used to piss him off by saying Illinois, and we'd piss Chris off by calling it New Orleans. And him, daggone it, it's not New Orleans, it's New Orleans, damn it. Yeah, Corey, that is exactly what that meant. Yes. Oh my God, that was one of the closest I've ever had to a brown pants moment. Oh, I'm glad I didn't have to poo. I am so glad I didn't have to poo when that happened because I felt that reverberate in my body. And that was just such an evil growl. I can't do it justice. Uh, I really cannot do it justice. But yes, I mean, exactly right, Corey. That means it's time to leave. I got the gift of discernment. I don't know if I have ESP or not, Wayne. I'd be lying to you either way. I don't know, but I know I have the gift of discernment, and I'm able to sense things that others can't. Others can do it. I'm more in tune to it. I've worked with so many coon asses. I could talk. We used to when we wanted to talk and didn't want anybody to understand what we were saying. Be like, "Hey man, I'll tell you, we come on down here. Stop like I'm gonna get a little nine play some video. Man, what do you think we're doing out this weekend? Probably going out, we do something like that. What do you think?" And and ooh, I got some phlegm worked up on that one. And people be like, "What did you just say?" It's like, "Man, don't worry about it. We wanted you to know we'd talk normal." But that's how we would talk in code to each other. And so it was fun. I love the shit out of Gentry, dude. He's a good dude. You should get Irene Tokiyama from Japan Paranormal. I didn't think that's a good idea, William. I never thought about that. Auctioneers rolling, yeah. The day I met my first coon ass is what he said. "You're not from here, are you? Do you?" Yeah, I love that. Cause, I mean, you can tell when Chris's Cajun came out. "You not be from here now, do you be?" "Oh, that's mighty fine eating right here." You'll get to going. It's funny as hell. Do they talk? Do they talk at you? I like that. So yeah, I mean that's exactly how me and Chris would talk to each other. It's like that when we want to talk code because nobody else understood coon ass. I can talk coon ass and understand it. He can talk coon ass and understand it. I'm from Missouri. He's from Nolans, and yeah, it was funny. We had they called us the brother. He was in Fox Company. I was in Golf Company. And every time our platoon commanders releases for the weekend, they're like, "All right, brothers, get together. We know what you're going to do now." And we'd get together and we start our partying. So, but yeah, no, I would love to go back to Hawaii just to do a paranormal investigation. because of all the paranormal activity I've seen there. Plus, I've seen the night marchers, and that is one of the only paranormal I know that can unalive you. Normally, paranormal, unless they push you down some stairs or push you off a building, can't unalive you. These guys literally will unalive you without having to do that. Yeah, I've seen you on their show a few times. I stopped getting. I need to check my little bell message on them because I've been stopping getting messages from. I used to get their alerts. And speaking of which, anybody, if you got a content creator you absolutely love to follow, please go check that bell icon. Make sure you're still subscribed because I know I was subscribed to David and Melissa's channel. For some reason, I was no longer subscribed to them. So that happens, or your bell goes to personal and not all. So make sure that's not been switched. So if you're missing contents from your favorite content creators, please go to their YouTube channel and make sure you're still subscribed where that bell icon is white and it says all. That's not a bad idea. No, I mean I can tell you, and I wouldn't mind going back to Japan because I want to get more into that supernatural stuff out there. That place is chocked full of supernatural. Oregon, not Oregon, Oregon. I say it's Oregon. It's not Oregon. It's Oregon. And Oregon. But no, I do want to go. I don't miss living in Hawaii. I miss being there at times. Living there for 3.5 years sucked because I got bored. But it is a beautiful place. It's a beautiful culture. I was one of the few Hallies that got in good with the locals. The locals don't like Hallies. The locals hate Hallies. But I probably don't have that same stature as I did back then. That was 20 years ago. It's Missouri. It's not Missouri. It's Missouri. Uh, so I don't know if I'll be treated with the same respect as I was treated 20 years ago. I could be wrong. Yeah, but they do not like Hallies. And if you're white, you're a Hallie. They don't like Hallies. I got in good because I followed a lot of my Native American beliefs back then, and I was a bull rider. Bull riding is huge in Hawaii. If you're a rock star if you're a bull rider. They love bull riders in Hawaii. So I got in good. I got to go to the luau's that the other Hallies didn't get to go to. It was beautiful. I mean, I got to go to other stuff. If somebody messed with me, one of the other locals go, "Hey, cuz, you leave him alone. That be my cuz. He good, yo. Yeah, he good. Leave him alone. He good." And that's kind of how they talk. And so, I mean, I was blessed. I was blessed. And in fact, the first time I seen the night marchers, I served with a local. He was from the mainland, but he was still local. And oh yeah. I did too. Yeah, I did. I did too, or so I did too. But the first time I seen the night marchers, I was like, "Hey, cuz," I said, "Is that a luau that I don't know about? Let's go to the luau, man. It's the weekend. I want to go to a luau." He's like, "No, no, 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 cuz that no luau, no that night marches, man. We not go there. Not night marches. They kill you." I was like, "What the hell's a night marcher?" He goes, brother. He goes, night marches is the last king, last guardians to guard the last king of Hawaii, King Kamehameha, and they still travel the islands to this day, protecting the grave of King Kamehameha. So that's how I found out about night marchers. So that's something you need to keep in mind. If you're in Hawaii and you start seeing a row of looks like torches coming at you or on a mountaintop going away, do not go in that direction. Those are ghosts that can unalive you very easily. If you come across the path of them, you need to lay flat on the ground, your feet out, your arms down to your side, your face in the dirt. Do not acknowledge them. Do not look at them or nothing. If you do, you will not come back. I promise you. There's many people, mainly Hallies, that die every year because they come across the night marchers. Do not engage with the night marchers if you're in Hawaii. Yeah, yeah, I used to back in the day. In fact, I got in trouble in it Marines because we had a battalion field day inspection, and the BC and the battalion sergeant major came in, and they seen my bull rope and my stuff laying on my secretary, and they looked at me and was just like, "I know this is yours. You know, we can get you for destruction of government property if you're out there riding. You're not allowed to ride here." I was like, "Sergeant Major," I said, "Marine Corps has a professional bull riding, team. Why can't we do it?" He goes, "Because that's how it is here. We in this battalion, we don't want you bull riding." So I had to give up bull riding back then, and I haven't done it since. But no, I mean, I can't stress that enough. If you go to Hawaii, absolutely do not cross paths with the night watcher. And I'm not trying to, get clickbaits. I'm telling you the truth. You don't believe me, research it yourself. Don't take what I say for granted. Take it with a grain of salt. Do the research yourself. You're going to see that I'm not lying to you. Or so you can back me up on this. You're from Hawaii. William, you know what I'm talking about. You got kin or over in Hawaii too. If I'm lying, let me know in the chat. Because I'm telling you now, that will happen. So I was very blessed. They were well over a mile away, so I didn't cross paths with them. But I don't want that is a paranormal entity that I absolutely do not want to go out and chase. Yeah, see, there you go. Urso right there. Yeah. Urso was from the same neck of woods where I was in Hawaii. In fact, when I was showing on the map right where I saw him on the mountains next to H3, he goes, "Yeah, I was right down here." Yeah. I can't remember who you know over there, William, but I know you knew somebody over there. Yeah, y'all. I'll chase Bigfoot. I'll chase Dogman. I chase Poltergeist. I chase all the stuff. I will absolutely not chase a big W, and I absolutely will not. I can't say I won't chase a big W because I'm getting ready to do that possibly, but I definitely will not chase a night marcher because I don't want to be alive. Yeah, we did. I remember you telling me about that. So yeah, we had encounters with them in the same location, just about. Yeah, because I remembered I was looking at it, and you guys go back and see it live. You'll see my reaction, my face when I realized right where that was. I was like, that was it. That's it. And it took me back even then, and I didn't even experience it. What other paranormal ghosts you mentioned earlier that can unalive you? So as far as paranormal, not supernatural. Yes. Now, paranormal can do it if they push you like off a building or out a window or down a stairs, but none of them can unalive you like the night marchers can. I don't know if so. I don't know enough about the night marchers. Okay, Firewater. Night marchers are the wicked, mean spirits, are always protecting their king. Yeah. So it's almost, this is just kind of how I'm looking at them. Okay. And I can't tell you this is actually what happened or not. I think this is a paranormal activity because they not only guard the kings, but they guard the gods and goddesses of Hawaii as well. That they were given almost like a supernatural ability when they passed on. Now, night marchers, when they were alive, even if their family looked at them, they had to unalive their family. It was actually forbidden to look upon them. No matter if you're kin or not, you were never allowed to look upon the night marchers. It was automatic execution if you did. H3 when they built over the the equipment would be overturned and not start on the. Yes, I remember. Oh yeah. I remember hearing that. Yes, or so yeah. I mean, they had so much trouble with their equipment. Oh god, he didn't want a couple of them was even burnt, weren't they? If I remember correctly. But hey, yeah, I'm fixing to go to the damn Sally house and the Machiavelli house, and I still won't go after them night marchers. That going after night marchers is a one way ticket. But like I said, I don't know why it is. I don't know why that's a paranormal that can unalive you the way they can, and not like the rest of them. I have no idea. The night marchers are part elemental energies because they were so much a part of the island. Okay, that makes sense. So I was kind of hitting along saying, okay, that's kind of like what I was thinking. I thought they would have some kind type of supernatural ability like that. Yeah, I mean, it is an extreme honor to be chosen as a night marcher. You not only protected the king and his family, but you protected the gods and goddesses. Because the gods and goddesses would come down to the planet and walk with the kings and queens. And sometimes the kings and queens were the gods and goddesses. Um, so to be a night marcher guarding that type of level of deities or level of royalty was an extremely high honor. Um, Aeneas, yeah. The Mother's Day event at Waimea Falls, where all those people died, and the empty photo. Oh, I think I know. Yes, didn't they capture a photo of the night march? Oh, yes. I think that's the one I'm thinking of. They actually have an image of the night marchers when that happened. Oh, yes. Okay, I think that's the one. If let me know if I'm wrong, but I think that's the one. Yeah, they're from India. Yeah, in the land of Mu. Yep, the landslide. Oh, okay. Never mind. It was. I remember something happened to somebody, and they had gotten a picture, and in the picture, you see the ghostly figures of the night marchers. No worries. Welcome back, Vicky. Um, happened on Mother's Day. Yeah. Do you know what photo I'm talking about, or so? Because I remember seeing that. I remember a local uh, showing me that. Um, I think they're getting ready to. They had it like on a timer. If memory serves me correctly, they had it on a timer, and they were at a waterfall. I think, yeah, it was a waterfall, and all of a sudden that family had mysteriously unalived. And when I went through those photos, you can see the ghostly figure of three night marchers in there, right behind that couple before they were unalive. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. You know which one I'm talking about. Yeah, it was. I believe it was a newlywed. I'm pretty sure it was a newlywed, and they were taking a picture, and that was on the island of Kauai, if memory serves me correctly. It was on the island of Kauai. They were at a waterfall, and right when that picture snapped, standing behind him with three night marchers, and when the law enforcement found them, they were face down in that pool of water, and they went through the film, and that's when they seen what happened. So they knew that was why that was chalked up as to a night marcher deal. For some reason, I had it in my head that was what one you was talking about. So I apologize, or so. It just brought back some memories when you said that. But yeah, no, I mean, I think if I remember right, that's the only photo that was ever captured of him. I could be wrong, but that's the only one that I know of that was actually captured having the ghostly images of the night marchers there. So yeah, no, Texas is haunted. I've been to Texas; it's haunted. Alabama, Georgia, another good places for paranormal activity. Um, I'm not sure about New Mexico, Arizona. Arizona's got some. California's got such a bad vibe; it's hard to pin it down in California. But I believe California's got a lot of them too.
So yeah, there's a lot of good places. Wayne, where do you live at? And I could probably help you out a little bit. Oh man, we're over that 2 hour mark. Yeah, I've heard it was. I've never been to North Carolina, but I've heard it is. Yeah, I've never been there, but I've definitely heard it was. Yeah, Florida is a pretty decent place too, from my understanding. I've never been to Florida, but from what I understand, that's another one that's also got quite a bit of paranormal activity as well, and it could be because of the oceans. So, listen, we're over that 2 hour mark. Once again, y'all want to apologize for my guests with them having technical difficulties. San Antonio, Texas. Yeah, with all that happened in that area, Wayne. Yeah, there's paranormal activity there. There's been a lot of bloodshed in that area of Texas. A lot of it. Between the Comanches and the Mexicans and the whites and the whites and the Comanches. Yeah, yeah. There's tons of paranormal activity in that area. So, but once again, like I said, I apologize for my special guest. It's understandable. Technology happens, man. I've had issues too, so I'm not. It's no big deal. We're going to reschedule for in a couple weeks because um, they've got some other stuff they're going on, investigations that they're doing. So we'll come up with it again. I'll change this title and description up. It won't let me do it right after the show, so I'll have to do it tomorrow. So just keep that in mind. We will have them on. So thank you guys for coming in. It was kind of a last minute deal trying to figure out because I didn't hear until the last minute if they was able to do it or not. But we still pulled off, I think, a good show. To all my new subscribers, to my OGs, all the way down to my OGs, thank you guys so much. You guys are awesome. I'm truly blessed and thankful for every single one of you guys. You guys are great. Give a shout out to my mods. My mods are a huge help in my show for me. For everybody sharing their stuff that they shared about and the questions that you asked, thank you so much. I appreciate that. That's why I love doing this stuff. You guys are very interactive in this chat. I like it. It really makes it go by. I didn't even realize we missed our hour mark. Oh yeah, we blew our hour mark. So, quick shout out to Dark Angel Medical. I love that stuff. Make sure you go over there and buy some of Doc Perry. Blah 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 blah. Um, Carry Pocket Doc Davis's stuff from Dark Angel Medical. You can use FSA and HSA. Use Crypto 20 for 20% off. His kits are the kits for life. So if you use it to save a life, he will replace it as long as you let him know. I gave it to him, Dwarf. Yeah, I gave it to you once, but I send it to you again if you need me to, bro. Keep me in line. Yeah, you keep me in line. So I'm going to get back to work once again on my Patreon side for my iHen Yard. Hey, Tanya, thank you so much, sweetheart. To my iHen Yard, I can't even talk. My mouth's dry. iHen Yard readers on my Patreon. Like I said, I did drop so chapters 1 through 6 on Rise of the Reign of the Draugr, Dawn of Armageddon is available for you guys to take a look at. I want to try to get some more writing done. I've still got to go through that paranormal investigation evidence too. So I've got tomorrow off, so I'm going to be pulling some busy days. So until next week, everybody, peace, love, and blessings. Make sure you go check out William's show tonight. William and hey, Amanda. William and Bigfoot Dwarf are going to be on tonight. I'm going to end up getting some sleep because I'm fighting sleep now. I didn't get much sleep last night. So I'm going to go hit the rack here in a little bit, and then I'll get up early in the morning to back to work again. So I hope you guys have a good time. Be safe. You guys get any encounters, remember for next Saturday's show, and I'll see you then. Goodbye, everybody.